Todd Whittem here, owner and founder of Todd Whittem Tennis, also known as TW Tennis. In this clip, I would like to speak to you about tournament scheduling and even more in depth of parents coming to me saying that their kids play a tournament every single weekend. First and foremost, I don't really understand that concept, because if you're trying to build a player and see how good they can be from when they're 16 to 18 years old and hopefully on to maybe a great college career or a professional career, it's hard for a coach to build on something that they're working on in practice if a player is going to play a tournament every weekend or almost every weekend. I'll explain how and why. So when you put a player in a tournament, whether it's an amateur or a professional, they always resort back to their habits, whether they're good or they're bad. So if you're trying to develop something in practice, it takes time to have that developed. So when you put a player in tournaments all the time, they always resort back to their habits, whether they're good or they're bad. So what you're learning in practice many times will be thrown out the window when you put a player in a tournament, because what they're really thinking about is how they're going to win. The most important thing for many tennis players when they're put into a tournament arena and put under that stress and pressure is how they're going to win. They're not thinking about the things that they worked on in practice. So from a coaching perspective, when I go to tournaments, all I'm looking for and looking to see from my students is basically, are they applying what we've been teaching them in practice? And so if they're not applying what we're teaching them in practice, those habits are not really set. If they are applying what we've been teaching them in practice, that means that they've really progressed and they're understanding and they're applying under the most pressure that they'll face, which is a tournament match. So that means that we can move on to other things. Also, if you put a player in many tournaments, their physical fitness is going to suffer as well. So what I can tell you is that physical fitness, you have to build it all throughout the year and throughout weeks and months and those types of things. But when you start putting players in tournaments, they may miss Friday because you don't want to wear them down, and they may be in a tournament on Monday. So that means you only have a couple of days a week of fitness training that you can do and do at a high level and at a tough level to really help them improve. So the injuries can go up in tennis tournaments as well, because if you're not fit and you're not strong, when you're under the pressure and under the stress, your body goes through many more things that they would go through in a normal tennis practice. So what I can tell you is that when you're working with a coach, they should know and that basically they know when to put tournaments in play and have those particular players play tournaments, and when they're ready to play tournaments. So make sure that you have great communication with your coach so that you're really ready and your child is ready to perform at a great level in their tournaments. Best of luck.